Good morning, everybody. I hope that you're all really well on this beautiful Wednesday morning. It is gorgeous here in Buckinghamshire. I hope that it's lovely wherever you guys are and that you are doing well in this crazy summer holiday madness. Only a few weeks to go, and I know that all the Scottish schools went back today. So if you've gone back with your family today, I hope that you are coping. My name is Donna Calendar, and I'm here week in, week out with you guys on a Wednesday where we talk all things social. And today we're actually going to be looking at how to create more engagement. And the reason why we're looking at a lot of the food retail brands is actually because they're really, really good. Really, really good at creating engagement. So if you're not a food brand, it doesn't matter. The reason why I'm showing it is actually to show some of their tactics as opposed to actually really delving into the food sector. So do not worry. And if you've got any questions at all, please just pop in the Q&A and let me know. Again, if you want to tell me who you are, where you're from, please feel free to pop that in the Q&A, and I will try my best to tailor some of the webinar towards you directly as well. So some of the brands we're going to look at today, they're quite different. So we are looking at Arla Protein, making yogurts, drinks, that kind of thing, lots of snacks. And they are great on Instagram, and they're really, really good because they really understand their target demographic. And what we're going to do is look at how you could I guess, leverage from some of their tactics as well. We are going to look at Richmond Food. They do sausages and lots of other things like that. And again, they're slightly different. So they're good on Instagram, they're pretty good on Facebook, but got a very different kind of tactic. And so we're going to look at how they've done competitions. And again, this isn't about necessarily food brands, guys. This is about how to leverage, how to use what they've done and sort of leverage it for your own brand. Mellish Cheese, so it's more of a kind of like independent cheese company. They're sort of based all over Scotland, again, very different. And then Cake Box. If you've not heard of them, they do egg-free cakes. And they've got, I think it's franchises actually, all over the UK. And they have a really big social media following. And again, we're going to look at why. So one of the ways that I actually find the brands to look at, and one of the ways that you can actually, I guess, prioritize the channels that you use is actually by looking for competitors. And if you don't have any direct competitors locally, and basically what I did was I went on to Maybe, and then in our public group section, there is this bit. So you can literally look at the most engaged in a section, if you like, or sector. So you can look at top councils, the local authorities, you can look at the top food and retail businesses, you can look at independent and big brands. So I guess it doesn't really matter what you are, you should be able to find a sector that kind of matches you. And even if it isn't, I remember on the webinar last week, there were some people who were looking for pet brands, for example. So even if you can't find a direct comparison in a pet brand, you should be able to find something in a similar sort of sector. But here, this is literally how I found basically the top performance. So you can see I've got Cake Box in there. So they have, 73,500 followers. I was able to look at what their best post was, and I could even go in and view their calendar. So it might be worth going in and having a bit of a play with this on the Maybe platform if you want to look at other businesses that are performing really, really well in your sector or in a similar sector to the one that you're in, because it might help you find people that aren't necessarily direct competitors, but ones that you can kind of either aspire to, or ones that I guess you might be able to get some inspiration from, I guess. So here we go, guys. So the reason why we do this is because 79.1% of consumers in the UK spend over an hour on social media every day. I spend a little bit more than that, I'm not going to lie. And then 19% of businesses have active social media accounts. So we do this week in, week out, because we want to help you guys connect better with your customers. Your customers are on social media, and we want to help you find the right channel, find the right message, and find the right content for them. We help over 25,000 businesses get more out of social media. We help you compare your social media performance with any other business. We give you the tools and insights you need to use social media more effectively. And you've got access to all of us. You've got access to loads of training that we do on a weekly basis. They're pretty much everything covered. And if there isn't something covered that you need, please let me know, and we will make sure that we do either blog on it, training on it, or indeed look at how we can do more of the live training on it as well. Now, before I go into it, as I said at the beginning, if you do want to interact, please feel free. So just pop a question into the Q&A button and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Equally, if you've got a particular sector that you want me to look at, or you want me to look at how, I don't know, what Arla Protein do could relate back to your business, then please just ask and I'll do my best to cover it whilst I'm here. So Arla Protein, for those of you guys who haven't seen them before, they're pretty big. Arla is an absolutely huge brand, and Arla Protein itself is huge. So it's made from natural ingredients, simple, tasty way to increase your protein intake. So Arla Foods is obviously one big company, and then this is, I guess, one section or sector within them. Now, they focus a lot on, funnily enough, people who want to increase their protein. And generally speaking, they are athletic, people that go to the gym, people that are on some kind of weight training, and people who, I guess, want to do it for health reasons. So it might be that, you know, I don't know, they've got some kind of dietary requirement that requires them to eat a bit, to add more protein to their diet in a more natural way. So that is the sector that they're looking at, right? Now, the reason why I wanted to show you guys is because they've got a cracking social media strategy. And so rather than actually just showing you guys individual posts today, I'm actually going to show you guys a couple to looking at, I guess, you know, like how they set up their plans and then how you might be able to kind of do the same. So I'm not saying you have to be targeting athletes, sports people, that kind of thing, or, you know, people that just, I don't know, go to the gym twice a week. I'm saying that this is more thinking about how you can structure your content in your head so that when you are thinking about your content, you're going, oh, actually, I can maybe think a little bit more like Arla. So what you can see, this is their grid here, and you'll see it's a bit of a mix. They do quite a lot of collaborations. They do a fair amount of actually showing off their kind of top tips and recipes and how you can use their product, which is really similar to quite a lot of products, but they do it really, really well. But one of the interesting things that they do is they go out into the streets and get people to taste test. Now, we showed this before with, I want to say it was it McVitie's? No, tell a lie, it was Yorkshire tea. Sorry, apologies. It was Yorkshire tea. And I showed this a few weeks ago. Yorkshire tea absolutely smashed it with, I think it was Yorkshire Day, hashtag not Yorkshire Day. And they absolutely smashed it by doing a really good campaign like this. So we're going to show you and then we'll talk a little bit about it. Okay, another one. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Now, these are reels. They've gone out and they've literally videoed themselves asking people what they think about the product. There is absolutely nothing to stop you if you sell a product, especially anything that you can taste, obviously, but smell, if it's perfume, it might be skincare products that you could try on people, but quite literally you could go out into your local town and you could go out or even stand in front of your shop window if you've got a physical store, and you can ask people to taste test something, ask people to try it out. Trust me, you'll get a true response, obviously, and the likelihood is, you know, they're only going to show the positive ones, I imagine. But it is a really simple but really effective idea because they're trying it on people who clearly have never tried it before. It is very much, you know, just, you know, like walking around. Basically, you do it with an iPhone. You don't have to have a microphone. You can literally just do it as with an iPhone or, you know, or any other phone. Obviously, you can get little clip-on mics that you can add on, but that is a surefire way to get you Instagram content, in particular, TikTok content, Facebook content, whatever you want, within minutes. You go out, you ask a couple of people what they think, and then give it back. What Yorkshire Tea did was that they went out and instead of actually getting people to taste tea, they said to people, what biscuit would you normally dip in your tea? And then they got loads of really good like sort of responses and opinions on it. I don't do that, that's weird. Or it was, I only do a digestive, or I only do a, I don't know, like, you know, any of the other biscuits, an Oreo, things like that. Oreo, that'd be interesting. So do you see what I mean? If brands like this are doing that, and that, I mean, that's got them 61, well, sort of, yeah, like 60 odd engagements. That's not massive for a brand like this. However, if they can get that, think about how you could do that in your local town and do it really well. So think about wherever you are. And, you know, most of the time you wouldn't really need permission to go out and just like walk around and ask people questions on stuff. But, you know, feel free to liaise with your local council if you do feel you're going to need a permit or something like that. But it could literally just be you standing outside and asking people what they think about stuff. You're more likely to get, like, even if you've got 10 respondents that were willing to be on camera and talk about it, or even do an audio, you could put a picture over it. But anything like that, that is user generated content and it's trying out on new people, it's a sample. It's like almost an opinion poll. So really, really, really good way to show your product, show that it's good, do something a bit different and a bit more daring. And it's cost effective. You don't actually have to really pay anybody to do anything. It's just you and your team that are out doing it. So if I could recommend you doing it, even if you don't do it outside, ask anyone that comes in, what do you know, don't know, what's your top tip on this, or what do you think of that? Ask people and they will deliver. And people really genuinely these days, most of the time, don't really mind being on camera. So if I could recommend anything, it is to use that as a tactic in your social media at least once this year, and see how it goes, because honestly, like, it works really, really well. The other thing that they do is they do an awful lot of showing off how to create something out of their product. So let's go for, oh, nice. So, okay, so you can see that is a paid partnership with someone. So that's an influencer. You could do this without doing it. I literally spent the morning yesterday with a business and we were talking about exactly this. How do we do this? But you don't have to do it with the influencers. If you look at actually what they've done, if your Instagram will be full of this kind of thing, literally it is one of these. So I don't know whether you can see that properly, but it's quite literally like a little sort of a little device that holds your phone, little tripod, and you just bend over, or you can get ones that attach to your laptop, that kind of thing. But it basically bends over your hands. So if you've got a product that you make from scratch, or indeed a crafting product, it doesn't even have to be, you know, like food. It could be that you've got a crafting product, something like that. You hold it over and you do exactly this. You literally film little snippets of it, you put it together, and then in here you put the how you did it. So it's the recipe. You don't have to pay an influencer to do that. You could quite literally do that yourself. Equally, obviously, you can do a partnership with somebody. It might be that you do a partnership with a local business, for example, or one that kind of complements what you do, or indeed it could just be that you actually do decide to pay an influencer if you've got that kind of marketing budget. But that is what has got them more of the engagement. So yes, they've got engagement through the fact that they've done a paid partnership, but equally people like to save these. So anything that's got ingredients in it and a method, you naturally just do this and you save it to your collection. And so you save it to your collection, it's there for ages, and then you're much more likely to tag in someone. So anything that's got a recipe, a how-to, a top tip, literally go on to, you know, your local provider, Amazon, whoever you want to go on, get something like this, a little tripod, stick your phone on it, and do that. So even if you don't want to do face to camera stuff, even if it's that you're in a restaurant, you're not giving away free food. All you're doing is saying, this is how we make things, which shows the intricacies that goes into how you do something. And then it's much more likely to add value. And that is what gets you engagement on social media. So again, just a really, really simple thing, but really, really well done. And then of course, you've got things like this, where they're celebrating a national day. So celebrating International Women's Day with Arla Protein. Here's just a few of the women who help bring high protein nutrition to your daily lives today, and every day we honour the power of women. So these are basically the team members that are part of their team at Arla Protein. and they've got them all with the product. So it's nice. It's, you know, it's celebrating a national day. Could they have done that in 1,000 other ways? 100%, right? For a big brand like that, yes, they could have. However, it's pulling their team at the forefront. It's using a national day, which we talk about all the time, hashtag International Women's Day, and it's them sort of connecting with their customers to show that they love their team are great, these are the real people behind the brand. So again, just really, really simple tactics, guys. These guys don't go crazy on it, but they've got a really strong Instagram, they've got a good following, they've got good engagement, and they follow a really natural rhythm of fun, of sort of motivational stuff, of getting out there and actually trying things. But you'll notice, what is the one theme that's running through all of this for the last few weeks? The pudding. If you've got a product you want to sell, keep talking about it, keep pushing it, keep promoting it, because that is the one way to do it. Every single one is, the what's your Arla moment. Here's how you can use the pudding on, I don't know, cookies or something. Here's how you can do it with these. Here's how you can do it as a cake. Here's how you can do it as a brownie. Here's the overnight oats. You cannot move for seeing this pudding. It's interspersed with other content, don't get me wrong, but just remember that people need to keep being hit between the eyes with a marketing message if you want them to buy it. So do keep reminding people. Just because you've done, I don't know, you've launched a new service or a new product doesn't mean that you, like, if I've gone all the way up to here and it's not in the top of your feed, I'll miss it. So just remember, people only kind of scroll really only a few squares down. Okay, so that is Arla. Totally different. Good old Richmond Foods. So Richmond Foods have done something very, very different to what they normally do, which I thought was quite interesting. So I wanted to kind of talk about it. And again, this kind of goes back to the value in basically hitting people between the eyes constantly with a marketing message in order to get longevity out of it and really to make it work. So they've not done loads of posts. They've got, like 7,500 followers, 60 posts, they're relatively, young in terms of Instagram, if you like. But you'll see underneath, everything is mega branded up the top, and below it's all, there is a fair amount of branded, but it's a mix. They've got more of their reels. They've got, how to make a really good breakfast. They've got how to mix it in with, make it more of a, maybe a more healthy thing. They've got their meat free. So, they've kind of got a bit of a style which they stick to. But then you've got this, right? You cannot miss this. This is so good. So this is their competition. And you'll see they had the coronation, they had a big coronation thing. They do like to go all out for whatever the national thing is. This one was watch out for our best ever competition next week. So this is the precursor to the competition. So this isn't here's our competition. This is me telling you next week to come back and find out what the competition is. So you kind of get a bit of a vibe, there might be some kind of celebration typey thing, you're not quite sure what it's all about, but best ever competition says to me, oh, it's going to be some decent prizes, or it might be really easy to win. That sounds really good. But you can see everything is all meat free. So if I was them to add to this, so basically what if I was you, what I would take from this is, if you want to do something, do a teaser. It can be as simple as that, but it's enough to get people going, oh, I want to come back and find out when this is. Do a countdown, perhaps. You can on your Instagram stories, you can do a countdown where it reminds you that an event's coming up or something's going to happen. And then what they put is, something exciting is coming next week, keep your eyes peeled. And they've just put hashtag Richmond. Now, if I was them, I would have gone hell for leather still on the hashtags. I know they're a big brand, but there's value in hashtags. So I would have still done, hashtag meat free, hashtag veggie option, hashtag veggie sausages, hashtag veggie, all of the things, meat free. I would have gone crazy on those hashtags, because what that's doing is attracting. So this is for, I guess, the people who are already on their Instagram, and then all of those hashtags would have attracted people who are not already on their Instagram to them, and then they would have been more likely to engage and then be ready for next week. So then we go to, that's you telling me that you're going to do something, and then we go here. So it's giveaway time. So this is all about the lionesses, okay? So they're off to a flying start, and to celebrate, we're giving away an incredible prize every day this week to take your viewing experience to the next level. So basically what they were doing was they were giving away their own steel chimney fire pit worth £160 and a £15 supermarket voucher to purchase your favourite meat-free products. So then they've gone about, you can have a watch party, and then basically all you have to do to enter is follow at Richmond Foodies. You got to follow them and then tell them in the comments what a dish is in the picture. This is brilliant because people love to guess. People absolutely love to guess. They love to have a look. This could not be more simple either. They've just used their usual template. You can get them on Canva or any of the other, products that you guys use for graphics. They've taken an image and then they've just zoomed in, either really zoomed in so much that it's pixelated, or you can actually do that with with the graphics usually on those products anyway, like Canva. And then you'd be told to guess what it is. Is it a pie? Is it meatballs? What could it be? And as you can see, what they've done is they've given all the detail about what you can win. They've told me what it is they want me to do. Then they've put some T's and C's, and then they've told me to stay tuned tomorrow to see what the prize is for day 2. So that I know then there's a different prize each day. So I might not want to win that prize. I might want to win a different prize tomorrow. But there's no harm in entering. And then they've got all the T's and C's are in a comment underneath. So remember, there's different terms and conditions that you have to put on with every competition on each channel. So make sure that if you're doing it, follow whatever Instagrams are, whatever Facebooks are, that kind of thing. But when you go below, it's just really fun. So people have guessed, like meat-free, no beef meatballs, and then tagged in a mate. But it works really, really well. It is simple, it is effective, it is clever. Honestly, any business could do this. You could zoom in on it could be that you're a nail bar and you're zooming in and it's nail color or a nail design, and what is it? That could be as simple as it is, and you just win a free manicure. Something really simple. This one, slightly more complicated. Then this one is this is connects our best meat-free mints to our favorite Mexican dish, nachos. You can be in with a chance of winning a Samsung Bluetooth soundbar. So again, they've gone out and they've probably spent £1,000 on prizes, and then they've just done it, or they've done some kind of reciprocal marketing deal with somebody. And then all you need to do is drop the answer in, so you just to tell us which route is correct. So you've got to then just follow it with your finger and then figure out which route is correct up to connect the two of them. Easy peasy, simple. You can get all this stuff on, as I say, Canva, and people have liked it and engaged with it. And then you've got, I guess, one of the more recent ones, which again, that's really fun. Final day giveaway, 5th and final day. This is the meatballs. They've obviously superimposed them along with one of the lovely ladies playing football. And you've got the grids here. Tell us in the comments the grid number of where the real football is. So which one is the real football? So which one is obviously she going to go for the kick with, and then which one is she not? So again, people have gotten engaged with it, people have gotten into it, people have enjoyed it. Any business can do this. This is a simple way of leveraging something that's going on nationally, something that people are talking about, and turning it into a multiple thing. Do you know what the thing is that you don't have to give away big prizes. People love getting a free coffee. People love getting a free donut. People love getting 10% off something, anything like that. But what it is that people like engaging. And this has had 851 comments. This one's had 824. This one had 388. That's a lot in comparison to 4, 7, 26. Big difference. So competitions work. Just make sure if you're going to do them, be a bit more creative with them. This is it. Just do it over a few days. Do something where people have actually got to do something fun. It engages people. It helps reach a new audience if you use the hashtags properly. It is really, really clever. So well done to Richmond. Again, guys, this is why I'm showing you this. Food brands tend to do social really, really well because they get it. They know that you can't taste anything. Fashion's different. You can see it, but you can't taste it. but I mean, fashion, you can't feel it either, but you get what I mean. It's very different. So there has to be something engaging about the post, which is why we can all learn from it. This is Mellis Cheese Limited. They are a specialist food shop, and they've got 5 locations across Scotland, and they do wholesale and export. And again, I found these guys just by doing exactly what I showed you guys in the beginning, by looking at the top food and retail businesses in the UK for engagement. And what you'll see from their Instagram, right, they are all about heritage. Everything for them is about their history, their heritage, their people, and their processes, because that's what this is. It's all about traditions, keeping traditions alive. So when it comes to your social media, obviously it depends on the brand you are and the how long your business has been going, etc. But people buy from people. People also love flashbacks of I don't know, old signage, old equipment that you might used to use. I don't know, I remember a staff that everybody loved who moved on, things like that. People really enjoy seeing that, particularly on social. It's a good way to connect with you on a much more deeper level. And so these guys do that really, really well. So as you can see here, this one, again, this one's slightly different. This one, today we encourage you to share the photo that reminds you of your father figure. Here's a few of our team's hashtag father figure. Now, this is lovely. It's really, really nice because it is personal. This is their team. These are them sharing personal photos of something on a business page, on a brand. And this is obviously in the warehouse. This is really lovely. I imagine granddad. It's lovely. This screams family. It screams tradition. It screams meeting people where they are, which at that point, I would assume that would have been like around about Father's Day. It is showing the people behind the business. It is not about selling cheese. This is about them connecting with you as a business that you want to buy from regularly. So when it comes to things like Mother's Day, Father's Day, all these kind of things, right? You don't always have to be about, I must sell my greetings cards, or I must sell my, their flower arrangements and that kind of thing. You do that, obviously, but actually sometimes it is about connecting with people where they are and connecting with the human side of people. And that is what these guys have done. It's showing the personal side, obviously, if you're willing to do it, but there's nothing wrong with showing, like the real people behind the business. So I would take a lot from this, in that it is a different way of showing, traditions and the real people behind things. Different, so to say, this, where obviously you're showing that members of the team, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's just a slightly different take on it. And then you've got the actual process behind things. So we'll look at this one. I mean, I would have never even known that was so intricate in my life. But yeah, it's an art form, isn't it? So here it says, on a recent trip to visit, and then they've tagged these guys in who make pitchfork and gourd carefully. They have, or sorry, carefully even, sorry. And what they've done is they have shown a video of when they went to go and visit them, of them actually making the cheese and doing the process of it and sort of pulling it all together. I absolutely love it. I love it because it is simple. It shows artistry. It shows the people behind the business. It shows the process that's gone into something that they might stock in their stores. And it's them showing out where they've actually gone to stock, where they bring their stock in. They've done the tag in. So if you work with local suppliers, or indeed, it might be suppliers anywhere, but if you work with suppliers where you physically go on site, capture some videos, because that looks really, really professional, and likelihood is it's shot on a phone. And then they've just added in the image, and they've added in, like a trending audio over the top of it to turn it into a reel. It is simple, it is effective, and quite literally any business can do this. It doesn't matter who you are. It is about it's about looking at the processes and the things that go in behind the business, so that people understand why they buy from you over anybody else. Why should you shop with these guys over going to your local supermarket. Well, the reason why is because of the people, the processes, the traditions behind the business. Equally, you know, it is selling this kind of thing. First ever trade days. This is them sort of, again, doing a more of a little announcement. So join us from 11 a.m. on Sunday, September the 3rd, to meet and greet just a handful of the fantastic cheesemakers we work with. Our team will be on hand to guide you through our maturing rooms in Leith and Edinburgh. We hope you work with us, and these are all the cheesemakers. So what they're doing is they're doing a little event where they've got all the cheesemakers that they work with who supply the cheeses, and they're bringing them into their store. And then they're like walking people around and talking to them about the process. So basically, this is like any cheese lover's absolute dream. Now, if I was them, I would have hashtagged this so much. So they've done an amazing job at tagging. So if you've got an event on, 100% tag in as many of the suppliers, as many of the people that you're going to work with, the place, the location, all that stuff. Tag, tag, tag. It's great because they're more likely to share it. You're going to get a wider reach. It's great. To drive more new people or people who are going to be interested in your product that don't already follow you, hashtag. It should have been like all the Edinburgh hashtags, all the Leith hashtags, so the little area in Edinburgh if you don't know it. It should have been all the cheese hashtags, all of the cheesemonger hashtags maybe, or artisan cheese maybe. And then it's anything that goes with cheese. It might be any types of cheese that you use. It might be Scottish cheese, for example. It might be, then you've got the local business, independent business, small business, UK, all those kind of ones. All of them come together to make pockets of people they're all following who might actually come to this, who would know already. So that is a way to take from, say, 80 likes and a couple of comments to then hundreds of likes and a lot more comments and potentially a lot more actual footfall. So just a little tip there, just if you don't underestimate the power of the hashtag, especially when it comes to Instagram. But great job, guys. Cake box, yummy, yummy cakes. Now, this one, slightly different. So this one is on Facebook, and they are egg-free. So egg-free cakes, kind of does what it says on the tin. Making celebrations a piece of cake, deliciously handcrafted, fresh cream cakes for all occasions. But these guys kept coming up each week when I was looking at this for the top end food retail. And when you look at it, it is really, really simple. If you look at all their photos, you kind of get a bit of an understanding. There's a lot of cake. That's what they do. They also they keep things really, really, really simple. They always have a cake. They've always got some props in the background, and they always stick to it. I'm talking about like 2 lines. That's it. They don't go crazy on it. Look at this. 150 likes, sorry, 150 engagements, 5 comments and 18 shares. 85, 6 comments, 17 shares. 154, 44 comments, 11 shares. This is on their cover photo, right? This speaks volumes. This is because they will have people who are like maybe intolerant to egg or something like that, or need to watch their diet, or it might indeed just be people that have tried their cake and they absolutely loved it and they want more cake. Or it might be cake makers as well that are following them, or it might be just cake enthusiasts, who knows. But they have a theme and they stick to it. So yes, I've talked to you guys about going out and getting some comments, and yes, I've talked to you guys about getting your staff out and talking about traditions and doing little reels and doing collaborations, that kind of thing. But equally, when you know that something works, keep on doing it. And that is what food brands do really, really well. What they do is they find that, this is what we call it food porn. There's no other way of calling it anything, to be honest, guys, but that's what it is. It's hashtag food porn. And it is that M&S effect. It is taking a slice of something, showing how delicious it looks. It is making you want to dive in and get involved and taste it. That is what this is all about. Interestingly, they don't do an awful lot of video content, but again, that's fine, because they maybe don't need to, and they've found something that works for them. But they always include a shop now. They also they always have that kind of call to action back. They always keep it, bank holiday mode is on, all stores open nationwide. They do some of the bits and bobs from the stores, obviously, but it is really, really good. because even here you've got somebody who's replied back going with their happy birthday. I think it's Liliana, who's 40. So that's the like her cake, and she's decided she wanted to comment back to show how delicious that cake is. They've done it for Father's Day. Sometimes keeping it simple really, really works. So when you go onto the Maybe platform, guys, make sure that you have a look at your best post tool. And on our new AI system, you can actually go in and you can click on it. It says, what is my best post? Or what my best post been in the last 7 days or the last week? And it will come up and tell you across all of your channels what have been the best posts and say, the last however long. And it will tell you how many likes you got, how many engagements you got, etc. And then you can start to work out a bit of a trend. That's all these guys have done. They've seen that it works and they've just stuck to it. It's great. Really good. So that's it really of what all the other food brands have done. But as you can see, each individual food brand knows their customer. They know what they want them to do, and they're using various tactics to do it. But these guys, keeping it simple. They call it the KISS method, keeping it simple. So as we talked about earlier on, some of the brands like to use national days. In fact, lots of little brands do as well, like to use national days as a way of planning in content. So let's have a look at some of the national days that are coming up, and we can come up with some ideas on how we can maybe leverage some content. So let's have a look. We're just going to jump straight into September. You've still got time to come up with content for September. I'm sure you guys could squeeze in a wee post or two, unless you are super already planned in. Right, we're going to go down the bottom. Okay. This could be a great one. National Recycle Week is brilliant. If you do any kind of recycling as part of your business, if you are eco-friendly, if you have any kind of green credentials, or indeed you might want to just go out and do some litter picking and then recycle it all or something like that, or support your local recycling bank, or you might want to do some volunteering, anything like that. Use this. Use it. So the reason why you use a national day or national week or month is because it's a topic of conversation that everyone's talking about all at one time. So there's lots of people engaged in it. So imagine walking into a room and there's a big group of people and they're all generally all talking about one thing. You walk in, you engage with them, everybody is all talking about that conversation. It's all going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. They then go back and then they tell more people about it. And then they tell more people about it. And then it trickles out. So it starts as your group here, and then it trickles out. That is exactly what the national days do. It's everyone talking about Dog Day, Cat Day, National Dance Day in the USA. They're all talking about that, but they're all doing it on social media. They're all posting about it, getting involved. Then you go in and you start liking, you start commenting, you start sharing. You're then involved in that topic of conversation. And if it directly relates back to your business, amazing. If not, then what you're doing is just generating some fun content for your customers. So if your customers would be interested in the fact that you are a keen recycler or anything to do with recycling, or that, it might be some of your credentials, use that and show it off. Do something on September the 18th. Youth Mental Health Day, massive one. If you do anything at all with youths, with teenagers, with children, anything like that, there's nothing wrong with maybe doing a collaboration with someone. It might be a local charity, it might be a national charity, it might be that you've got someone locally you can get to come in and do some kind of talk in your business, or it might be that you share some content from some other charities and you just share it on your Instagram. Use that if you think about it. If you talk to parents, if you engage with parents in any way, shape or form, and indeed youths, why not frame some of your content around that? I mean, you could go crazy and go for International Talk Like a Pirate Day. That could be fun. Why not? If you are a business that likes to take the mickey a little bit. Absolutely nothing wrong with getting your whole team to do a competition, and you could do it on video and get people to choose which one's the best. Why not? This is how silly it can be, and then how amazing it can be with things like World Alzheimer's Day. That's huge, 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 huge. If you've got anything to do with that, maybe as a charity partner, if it's something that maybe has affected your family and you want to talk about it because it's something that affects most people, then absolutely, there's nothing wrong with you creating content around it. That's going to show your human side. That's going to show that your business has a heart. So this is what I mean. Take a look at the content calendar. If you don't have it, if you go into maybe and you go into content calendar, we actually plugged in all the days for you so you can look at the week ahead. So even if it's next week, there's something, just do a post on it. Even if it's, you don't have to do a big campaign, you can keep it really simple. So remember, we give you all the tools and support that you need all in one place. So if you haven't joined any of the other drop-in sessions before, on a Monday, it's how to use Maybe. So literally how to use the platform. Tuesday is social media basics. So literally, you know, how to set up reels and Instagram, that kind of thing. Wednesday is me. And Thursday ads for beginners, and Friday advanced ads. And then we've got our on-demand training as well. So you can go in there literally and type in, I want to know how to do a thing, and we will help you find the thing. And there's loads of really good case studies from the likes of myself and some of the other team members as well. And then obviously you can schedule in your post, you can do advertising on there, you can do reporting. We've got AI, so we physically help you write your content for you if you're not sure what to write. It is all there in one place. So the key takeaways from me are get out there if you can, talk to your customers, get snippets for social media. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you asking people what they think about something. It could be your service, it could be trying something, it could be tasting something, smelling something, anything like that. But above all, ask for opinions. Always ask people what they think, because trust me, they will give it to you. People love giving an opinion on social media. So ask them if you want to drive engagement. Collaborate where you can to make sure you get more bang for your buck. So thinking about it might be a paid partnership, or it might be working with a local, I don't know, local journalist, a local blogger. It could be, if you're focusing on mums, it might be a local mummy network, something like that. Make sure you use it. Competitions can be fun. Think Richmond's, they did the teaser and then they did something every day. Not everything has to be one big thing. It could be lots of little things, but you know, think about different ways that you can engage with your audience. People and history go hand in hand in social media. So celebrate your people and celebrate your traditions and your processes and how things are made. So any kind of, you know, throwback Thursday, throwback Tuesday, things like that always work really, really well. And sometimes it is about simplicity as well. So if you find something that works, go on your dashboard, look at what your best post regularly is, what channel it's on, and if it's a style that works, keep doing it, because trust me, like that is what people have come to like about your thing. You do other things in between, but just make sure that you've got regular content like that so that people understand your style. And then if you haven't set up your Maybe account, then get on it and get started today. And you can keep learning from other brands the same way as we do. And then look out for your email tomorrow. So you'll get an email with all the links in it. So I think we're going to talk a bit about AI again. We're going to be telling you guys about any kind of trends that are coming up, anything social media related that you need to know. There'll be good case studies, and then also how to book in for any more training as well. And that's it, guys. That's what we do. Help businesses get more out of social media. We've been a quiet bunch today, but hopefully that has been helpful. And hopefully you realise that it's actually nothing really to do with the food industry. It's more just that sometimes they're really, really good on social, and it's more about how you guys can leverage some of that for your own businesses. But I'll give you guys a second. If you've got any questions, please pop it in the Q&A. But if not, then I will see you all next week. And next week, we're actually talking about the power of the female pound. I'm going to be looking at the likes of Barbie movie, the Lionesses, and a lot of the brands out there that are really focusing on the female market in 2023 and how you can do the same no matter what your business is. So tune in next week. So it's going to be an interesting one. Oh, question. Only question I had was using these tips for a service business, for example, courses for kids. If you could elaborate on that one a little bit, aka what kind of, who you're targeting, that would be handy. That's where it's difficult when I can't actually talk directly to you. So yeah, if you could add a little bit more on that, that would be handy, Naomi. Because yeah, obviously targeting kids is completely differently, but so it depends on parents to sign up to courses. Totally fine. Right. So if you want parents to sign up to your courses and you want to use social media, the best way of doing that is showing other parents' case studies. So if you can get as many case studies as possible, people that are talking about, like the difference that it's made in their lives, the change they've seen in their children, or any kind of improvements, any positives, video content or just testimonials are absolutely key. So if you've had any good reviews at all, batch them up, put them like that. Equally, you could do, I guess, a bit like what a bit like Arla. You could actually do like a bit of a Q&A session with a parent who would be willing to do it. The other thing you could do is, if you've got any sort of influential parents like in your network, so it might be that, there's like a small mini influencer or like a mummy blogger or something like that, who might fit the type of person who might be willing to try the course and then talk about it. A lot of them do it like literally just because they want to build up their content. So you could do that, and then you could do a bit of a partnership with somebody. Equally, you could pass it on to from a journalistic perspective to get PR on it as well, and again use that for content. But most of it will be about you sharing the benefits of it through the eyes of somebody who's done it. As a parent myself, that is what I look at. I always look at how it's helped another child, or how it's helped me as a parent, or, you connect with people on a human level. So generally speaking, it's about that. And thank you. Yes, I love the taste test scenario. Thank you so much. Very helpful. Oh, no worries. That's okay. That's exactly what I'm here for. Honestly, I'd much rather answer questions than sit here and talk to myself. So that's great. No problem at all. But like anything like that, if you're ever unsure, if you go into the little blue button onto Maybe, you can again, you can ask direct questions, and you'll get obviously some like digital responses, but then you'll also get some real life responses as well back from us. So we've got like a team of people that are all there if you ever need any help. But and again, I've got tons of case studies that are all in the Maybe platform in the video section on how brands have worked, like again, how we work with parents and that kind of thing. So I hope that helps. Okay, well, thanks very much, guys. I will see you guys all next week. And as I say, again, if you're not a female-led brand, it doesn't matter. We're talking about how to leverage, I guess, with the female sector, looking at that kind of female empowerment and all the big messages that are coming on this year. But actually, it doesn't matter if you're not female and actually the male. Think about maybe the women in their lives, whether it's daughters, sisters, anything like that. It is actually much more about the ethos behind it than anything else. All right, guys, I will see you next week.